I briefly mentioned in a previous video, I first stepped into Second Life in 2007, introduced by my younger brother. I was around 20 years old at the time, and back then, Second Life didn't have mesh yet. Most creations were made by combining prims or using sculpted objects. It was the standard way to build. My brother was working on a motorcycle in a sandbox, and when I saw it, something inside me was deeply stirred. It was a moment of pure curiosity, almost like a shock. That was it, the very beginning of my creative journey. The spark that started it all. In 2007, before launching my apparel brand, Amiable, I actually started with a sculpted hair shop called Hair Shop nodoka. The name didn't carry any deep meaning, it was simply a casual idea based on my own name. Back then, sculpted hair was still the norm, and I had no experience in creating anything. So I began by combining pre-made hair textures and sculpted parts one found on the marketplace to create hairstyles. It's been over a decade now, so I doubt many people still remember that version of me. But the reason I started a hair shop was quite simple. I didn't know how to texture clothes. I wanted to make something, anything, but with no skills at all. Hair felt like the only thing I could create that people might enjoy. In 2012, I closed my very first store, Hair Shop nodoka, which had been loved for many years. The reason? Mesh had arrived, and mesh hair quickly became the new standard. Sculpted hair just didn't sell anymore. Many creators faced the same challenge and had no choice but to shut down their shops. But I wasn't ready to give up on creating. So I started teaching myself mesh modeling, completely on my own. It was tough, but I kept going. And finally, in January 2014, I launched my apparel brand, Amiable. Why apparel? Well, after years of making hair, I found myself wanting to try something new. I asked friends for advice, but most of them were skeptical. They told me that while hair might sell, clothing wouldn't do nearly as well. Honestly, the more people told me it was difficult, the more determined I became to take on the challenge. Hair Shop nodoka had gained recognition thanks to support from international bloggers and word of mouth. But starting over with a completely new brand name, and diving into apparel without any prior knowledge, was incredibly hard. I did consider continuing with hair, but back then, there were almost no tutorials or resources available. I know many fans were hoping for a comeback, and I felt guilty not being able to meet their expectations. Still, the excitement of being able to create again outweighed everything else. My first goal with Amiable was to build something even bigger than Hair Shop nodoka, a brand with even greater recognition. Changing the name was part of that fresh start. It was my way of saying, I'm starting from zero, and I'm ready to give it everything I've got. The name, Amiable, carries meanings like friendly, pleasant, and kind in English. It's a word that feels gentle and warm, like something that stays close to your heart. Back when I was starting out, my closest friend, also a fellow creator, chose this name for me, inspired by my personality. I loved her deeply, so from the beginning, I knew I wanted her to name my brand. And when she said Amiable, it just clicked. It felt perfect for the concept and image I had in mind. I wanted to create a brand that radiates kindness, something that anyone could feel connected to. Through my work, I hope to share comfort and familiarity, like a special presence that's always by your side. Just like she was to me. Today, she's walking a different path, managing several brands focused on mass production rather than original mesh creations. We're no longer working together, and probably won't cross paths again. But I chose to continue with handmade creations that feel nostalgic and close to the heart. That's the story behind the name, Amiable, and it also reflects my unwavering belief in putting customers first. When mesh became popular, many of my favorite brands and cozy spaces began to disappear. So when I started this brand, I made a promise to myself. I never want to feel that sadness again. I want amiable to be a lasting home, something that's always here, no matter when someone returns to Second Life. When it comes to my designs, the things I care about most are comfort and peace of mind. Every apparel item I create is carefully crafted to be easy to mix and match with other outfits. I always keep versatility in mind, so people can enjoy wearing them in different ways. I also try to bring a fresh breeze into Second Life by blending Japanese fashion trends into my work. My goal is to create pieces that aren't just worn once and forgotten, but that feel good to wear and are easy to style, each one with thoughtful details and a gentle touch. One of the charms of Second Life is the freedom to try fashion styles you might not wear in real life. That's why I often include designs that are rare or unique, especially outside of Japan. Many of my creations have a delicate aesthetic with a touch of cuteness, something you don't often see in Western fashion. I'm very particular about sizing and proportions, making sure that anyone who wears my clothes looks effortlessly stylish. I do countless test uploads, sometimes over 100, making tiny adjustments down to the millimeter before a piece is finally ready. That level of detail and dedication is what defines Amiable's design philosophy. As for colors, I tend to use soft, gentle tones that feel calming and warm. My aim is to create simple yet special items, pieces that quietly stand out and offer something you can't find anywhere else. That's the spirit I pour into my creations every single day. There were definitely moments when I felt defeated. Times when things didn't go as planned, when I questioned my skills, and even wondered if I should stop creating altogether. Especially during the transition from sculpted items to mesh, it felt like everything I had built was suddenly outdated. Watching familiar brands disappear one by one was heartbreaking. But those setbacks became turning points. Instead of giving up, I chose to learn. I spent countless hours studying mesh modeling, failing, trying again, and slowly improving. Each challenge pushed me to grow, not just as a creator, but as a person. I realized that growth doesn't come from comfort, it comes from struggle, from falling and getting back up. Every time I overcame a hurdle, I felt stronger. And every piece I completed reminded me why I started in the first place, the joy of creating something that brings happiness to others. That's why Amiable isn't just a brand, it's a reflection of my journey. For nearly 10 years, I've poured my heart into creating countless pieces under the brand Amiable, often releasing them late into the night. And my creative journey is far from over. I'll continue making things for as long as I can. But as I reached this 10-year milestone, a new feeling began to grow inside me, the desire to give back. To Second Life, and to all of you. I started asking myself, how can Second Life become even more loved by more people? After thinking it through, I decided to start a YouTube channel. As a creator, I'll continue doing what I've always done, making pieces that bring joy. But looking ahead, I also want to use my videos to share the excitement and wonder I felt when I first discovered Second Life. I want others to feel that same spark. There have been many challenges I couldn't overcome alone. But every time, it was you, my customers, who stood by me, supported me, and believed in me. You've always been my greatest allies. My future goal is to go beyond the boundaries of Second Life and share both my work and the magic of this world with even more people. That's the final dream I've set for myself, to help others discover the joy, creativity, and connection that Second Life has given me.